Okay, can any of you guess what the oppression is? Nope, this is not some red pill pandering MGTOW bullshit. This isn't some shit about how women's dating preferences are discriminatory or whatever the fuck. This isn't me talking about the family court or whatever. Nope, I have actual science and data to back this shit up. Okay, you probably guessed it if you're a viewer of my channel. It's the education system. And Singapore does an extra thing to kick men in the nuts, which I'll talk about further, but let's discuss the education system first. Female prefrontal cortexes develop way faster than males. They also have better impulse control at a younger age, and they hit puberty faster, meaning they seem older at a younger age. Things like sitting quiet in class, doing their homework instead of playing with the boys, handing shit in on time, and basically being bookworms is easier for a woman to do from a younger age. The education system is actually built to propel women forward by design. Things like relative age effect also benefit women a lot. The relative age effect is basically that because women seem older and mature at a younger age, teachers find it easier to teach them because they just listen more. And so teachers subconsciously dedicate more efforts to teaching women because they're just easier to teach. And this further sets males behind. Now let's talk about how feminism pushes women into the education system more and prioritizes their success. That's right. The education system favored women the whole time, even back in the fucking 1950s. The only reason men went to college back then more and were more quote-unquote successful is because back then society pressured men to basically make more money. A 17-year-old woman in the 1950s, although she was smarter than her male counterparts, was told to get married and settle down, while an 18-year-old man was told to go to college. Why? Because you'll make more money that way. Now that the social conditioning has gone and is almost reversed in the sense that women are pushed to go to university more, women outgraduate men in every field and outclass them at every level in the education system. I'll leave some statistics to show that. From the first grade to the fucking PhD. Even fields like computer science are slowly becoming more and more women dominated. Think about that. Even the computers aren't safe anymore. I guarantee you the AUR is gonna crash tomorrow because some woman got offended by the man command.
Do you know why you're lonely?
Now, I consider myself a feminist, and I will always support the economic independence of women. I think it is crucial. Back then, women were basically just dependent on their male partners and had to tolerate all sorts of abuse because if they were divorced, they were basically left out on the street. But I just find it hilarious that feminism started the second we had air-cooled offices and worker protection rights. That's a joke. You get the point. In this day and age, we really do set men back. Because in the early years of education, basically kindergarten and whatnot, there are only 2% male teachers. Young boys go to school and they get told to shut up by fat female teachers, and they see the same fat female teacher give all the girls the golden stars and essentially favor the girls outright. Relative age effect combined with more maturity at a younger age. Young boys literally get excluded from a young age in school, and they get told indirectly that you do not belong in school. Why can't you be more like the girls or whatever the fuck? Maybe this is why we have an increase in the trans population law.
It's 'cause you're fat and gay.
Women also get tuition grants a lot more than men, and the quota also tends to favor them a lot more.
Gay.
This is a literal middle finger to males because you have a system that is designed to favor one type of biology, right? One sex. And on top of all that, you have extra social policies that basically give privilege to a certain sex as well. And here's another thing. Female roles have progressed with feminism, right? But male roles are still archaic. Men cannot be nurses, men cannot take care of children, men cannot teach kindergarten and things like that, and they cannot take care of the elderly. We live in a world where women are told to do everything, and men are literally restricted to the archaic roles. Fathers are more important now than ever because they can actually be a part of a child's life. We can have egalitarian relationships where parenting is a more 50-50. We do not live in an age where men have to die in war and spend their lives in a factory or snort cocaine in a mine. And yet society looks at male kindergarten teachers as pedophiles. Society looks at stay-at-home dads as beta cucks. We tell men to be providers. We tell them that that is all a man can be, a provider, and this literally restricts their autonomy. Then we make the role we assign to men useless by saying things like, oh, women can do it. Women are encouraged to be like boss women and all that. Don't depend on your man. Oh, you're dating a guy who makes less than you? Dump the broke dusty. Right? This is the rhetoric we have towards men, but we still tell them to be providers, which is just ridiculous. And we genuinely need to bridge this gap because, like I said, it is naturally present. They have a natural advantage. And with things like feminism, it gets exacerbated to the extreme. We literally have a system that discriminates against half the population. This is shit like Jim Crow, but with males. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but you get the point. And in Singapore, this is worse because males in Singapore have to do this thing called national service where they basically work a shitty job for 2 years. So this sets them back even more. The pay is also shit. It's not like a lot. Singaporean males have an extra roadblock in front of them, and this will never change simply because of how regressive Singapore is. Remember, Singapore is a country that still executes murders people for cannabis, and they sell alcohol. Okay, so this is, if a scientific study came out tomorrow that said reducing the NS obligation for males would basically make it easier for them to make more money and get a better foothold in life, the Singaporean government would basically not give a fuck, simply because of how regressive they are. They don't give a fuck about the scientific studies that state cannabis is safer and less addictive than alcohol. Same way, they're not going to give a fuck if a scientific study says things like reducing NS obligations can help men. So how do we actually fix this? Well, let's talk about Singapore first. Shortening the NS obligation to 1 year and including it in university credit would actually help Singaporean males a lot. The BMT here, which is basic military training, only lasts about 2 months. So why do they need to work a job for 2 whole years after that? It just makes no sense. NS can also be used in a positive way to help men get in shape, teach them about mental health and addictions. But no, most of the time, it really is a waste of men's time. And another thing we need to do is also expand male roles. If females can be researchers, men can be kindergarten teachers. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. Having a penis does not make you a pedophile or a sex offender or Andrew Tate, okay? Same way women are more than baby factories and dishwashers, men, we need to accept the fact that men are more than wallets and cannon fodder, okay? And I know this part is going to hurt people, but we need male-specific scholarships. We need male quotas because, like I said before, the system naturally favors females due to biology. To equalize this, we have to give men more resources and more attention. Not a lot, just slightly. We need to have specific policies that help and favor men. Cry me a fucking river if that offends you. And yeah, thanks for watching this video. I know it's a little off topic, but I do feel like I really need to talk about this because the world is changing a lot and some of it is just not good. So thanks for watching. Tell me what you think and call me a sexist in the comments.